Hey, good morning YouTube. It's been a while since I made a video, and today I'm going to share with you the problem with making a 95.8% return over 3 years on an investment property, and the challenges and how this is different than other types of investments that you might have seen me talk about or you might have also. And so I'm going to get right into this. So this is a house that we covered before. This is the net amount that I have invested into the property. Let me zoom in here to the relevant numbers. Down here are the rents per month, actual rents collected. If you remember before, if you've seen that video, these are months there was an issue with people in the house, and the property management company were taking care of it. This is the initial investment in the property, which is the purchase price minus what I borrowed from the bank. And then this is the increase in investment as we did a fix-up, which was a risk initially, and then as we carried the house at a negative cash flow for a couple years, and this year it's barely negative, probably 4,000, 5,000 less than last year. And so by next year it should be positive on the cash flow. We'll see how that works out. But here's the problem, and I'm going to zoom right in here, kind of ignore all the noise here. And 3 years we have from the purchase profit to the increases in value in the property. We have a 95.81% return on our money from an investment standpoint. Now, that is locked up in the house. And different than other investments, if it was locked up in the stock, you really couldn't do anything, and you'd have a stock that was carrying you a negative cash flow. But in a house, you can borrow that out. Problem with borrowing out is right now you have $140,000 in equity in the house. That's net between the amount you invested and the gain that you have over 3 years. This is real. Part of it was, yours. If you borrow it out, and the current interest rate is going to have more of a negative cash flow. If you don't borrow it out, then over like 3 years, you'll get to a point where you'll have a positive cash flow on the property. You can use that to, buy other things if you have a cash flow issue. And so your choice, different than other investments, is here you can start taking the cash flow and use that to help you buy another property, or you can tap the equity to help that buy a property. And you have to have both to purchase more investments. And so it's kind of a hard decision now. Interest rates go back down to, let's say, 5%, then definitely tapping the equity will make more sense. Depending on what the returns on those properties are going to be. And you also see I'm taking advantage of here. This was the initial purchase valuation, and the valuations on this property really have gone up significantly since the purchase, and that's because of the area that I'm in. But I wanted to share that with you so you kind of understood the difference between this property and other properties, and between this investment and other investments. So that's why 95.81% return, can be difficult, because you do get the equity. Eventually you get some cash flow, but in the meantime you have 3 years, you're kind of putting in cash flow on that property. But you are making an actual profit. You can see right here, $70,000 over 3 years, and my net investment to the day is $74,000 total. Now, you have to have some other ways to increase your investment year over year in that property, and you have to expect that. Otherwise, what it feels like is that you're just putting money into something every single year and it's never going to change, and that's not true. It just takes a few years in the current market for you to turn that cash flow position around, with your equity in the property, with your increase in value, with your increase in rents. You can see it went from $1,500 to $1,550 to $1,645, and what's the next step? And then you also have to manage to make sure you're not just throwing money at this for a fix-up, but you're doing fix-ups in a smart and intelligent way. You expect that's coming. You're planning for capital. You're planning for cash flow, so that you can take care of those things to make good investments. And what I'm expecting of this property is eventually it's going to give me a return on my investment, which is going to go down each year, and the return is going to be around 30%, partially in the equity in the property, and then partially in cash flow. And that's a great investment return to attain for any type of investment, let alone for one that you can borrow a house out, and you also have advantages from a tax standpoint. And hope this helps you. And like and subscribe if you want some more. Give me some ideas of what you want to see. Haven't made very many videos because my camera's been having issues, so hopefully this works out well. I'll talk to you later. Bye.